I wanted to shout out Marianne's Ice Cream here on it's on a street, like most things. Anyway, it's great. Let's make sure I get it. It's on Ocean Street. Well, a lot of yeah. That's cool. And it's actually very close to. Oh, that's what I'm getting at. So I want to share another thing that's important, which is called smoothie and steam, which is an underappreciated hybrid activity, which is where you get. No, it doesn't have to be a smoothie. I'm gonna do a chocolate milkshake at the moment, and then you bring your chocolate milkshake to this or whatever kind of cold drink to the steam room, and you're probably, it's like already people, you're probably figuring out where this is going, and you're probably thinking, so oh god, I gotta get on this. This is delicious and comfortable. It's like exactly what I want. I want some kind of technical way to keep my core cold and get my muscles hot, because that's, oh gosh, it feels so good. So yeah, gonna grab a chocolate milkshake at Marianne's and pop over to Kiva's or Matreon. Yeah, so they're making that chocolate milkshake for me, and it made me think back to what I had said earlier about how the material plays into the spiritual. And there's actually a cycle there, because the spiritual influences the decisions that go on to influence the material. And so like a big factor that I think is underappreciated and under-discussed and is massively influential is just blood sugar. Because it really influences you psychologically. And this is like a universal statement. I'll say it. It's because, yeah, everyone has blood flowing through their brain, and everyone's brain pulls glycogen out of the blood to make energy. And so low blood sugar is kind of like, you can't like, if you've got cells in your brain, you're gonna be affected by low blood sugar. Anyway, I just mentioned that because, like, it sounds trite, but just eating regularly, how to put it, you sort of just need to monitor many aspects of your emotional well-being. And like blood sugar is just like one of probably 12 major axes you could think of. And there's like no universal strategy to manage all of these axes of emotional well-being. Frankly, it's just practice. Like, I actually think that the facing the duress of like my past experiences with like chronic illness and pain, homelessness, mental illness, abuse, like it all, how to put it, it wasn't pleasant, but it did help me develop essentially coping, like I have a long, what's the right word? I feel fairly adept at identifying when I'm faltering on a axis of emotional well-being, which you might even call like an axis of, shamanic potency in a spiritual war. Seeing as how, like, if you break down on any axis, you cease to be positively engaged in the fight, which is like the end of your participation. And if you're the only warrior on your side of the battle, then you lost that battle. And if that's the only battle that's deciding the war, then the war's over and you lost. So yeah, like, and as adept as I am, like, I've overcome homelessness, overcome unemployment. Like, I won't really list the stuff that I've overcome, but just like maintaining high blood sugar. That's a trick. That's an under-discussed trick that is like gives me an edge. I can guarantee you these people are faltering in like attention due to silly eating habits. Not me. Thank you, Marianne. Oh yes. Oh, they're making it. I see them. Oh, they're they're doing it with like a machine that has like a little propeller. It's a magic milkshake machine. And I'm gonna get shamanically bolstered. Watch out, imposters. So, I spilled my milkshake all over myself, which brought me to another very like important battle tactic. How to make mistakes. Because and you're probably thinking like, what does that even mean? How do you make mistakes? Isn't the goal not to make mistakes? Yes, but you also Elon Musk feature request. I need more control over the headlights. Like, there's been times I want to drive without any kind of lights on. This is supposed to be a battle vehicle, and I need to control its luminosity. Anyway, sorry for that digression. So how to make mistakes? Like Elon Musk, that guy must be great at making mistakes. He's like, do you see how he's tenacious? So yeah, that's like, and that's it. So the goal is to not let the mistake, like what's the best way to approach a mistake? Well, I mean, we call it a mistake because it somehow counteracts our goals. Like we had a naive or arrogant impression, and operating within that false impression and building models on that impression led to a erroneous prediction, which is less good than which is relativistically inferior to a better prediction. I don't know if that. I didn't predict that I would spill this guy, although it's so delicious. I can't blame it. It's delicious stuff. No, I shouldn't eat on camera. What was I talking about? I remember it was. Oh yeah, how to make mistakes. So this is actually a neurological. It's very fundamentally neurological, because your brain has excitatory and inhibitory neurons. And a little known fact about human beings is that we have the highest ratio of inhibitory neurons of any creature ever examined. Maybe we'll find a deep sea creature that has more inhibitory neurons, but we have not yet located that creature. Which means you got to be very careful about over-inhibiting yourself when you make mistakes. And so a little technique that I use to avoid overly inhibiting myself in the aftermath of a mistake is to not think about what I did wrong, but instead think about what would have happened if I had done something better, if I had made a better decision. And you might think that that's isn't that the difference between the inside and the outside of an outline? Or isn't it the same line? It is. But the context is very different. Each is a way of contemplating wrong action, but focusing on what went wrong will emphasize the categories that led to the failure, while focusing on what could have gone right will emphasize the categories that will correct the failure. How does this tie into spilling a milkshake on myself? I just think this is happenstance. I guess the lesson is just to be more careful. Oh, so let's use this. So I could feel bad. Oh, excuse me. I could feel bad about having stained my shirt and wasted my time and embarrassed myself. Or I could feel good about applying extra attention to handling my milkshake carefully moving forward, because that behavior will lead to better outcomes for me, and I will enjoy those better outcomes. And this is a great way to see a mistake, because now I'm thinking about positive futures. I mean, really, honestly, I wish these this is obviously not how the imposters approach things like crimes, which is why I'm gonna win. Coming for you, imposters.